Jaguar Power Sports presents tricks, tips, and needs to knows by Cody.
Hey guys, Cody over here at Jaguar Power Sports, here to help you through this assembly process. Going to go over some guidelines, tips, and need to knows to get you on the road to fun. First, we're going to start with the unpacking process. Be sure to throw away all your trash properly and keep your workspace clean and organized. First off, we're going to start by securely and safely elevating the unit off the ground so we can properly install all the components needed in this assembly process. Next, we are going to install the front shocks. Be sure to leave yourself adequate room to work. As you can see, the front headlight housing is not installed and will leave you more room up top. Now we are going to repeat the process on the opposing side. Next, we are going to locate the front brake assembly. Now, once you locate this, make sure your brake line is not twisted or tangled in this process. Be sure to locate and secure the box of hardware that comes with your unit. Here in this scene, we are going to connect the upper and lower control arm via the spindle. Be sure to properly install your castle nuts and cotter pins. Next, we are going to install the front brakes. When you install this, be sure to use this picture as reference for a proper install. Next, we are going to install the front brakes. When you install this, be sure to use this picture as reference for a proper install. Next, we are going to install the tie rod. The tie rod is part of the steering system. When installing, be sure to properly install your castle nut and cotter pin. Once again, it is very important to install your castle nuts and cotter pins properly. On this next step, we are going to install the rear rack. This consists of 4 bolts. When installing this, be sure to align your bolts to the holes properly. After installing the rear rack, we are going to move on to the front brush guard. This also consists of 4 bolts, and just like the rear, we want to make sure they are lined up when we are installing our bolts for a proper installation. Remember, while you're installing the rear tires and rear rack, always double check your rear shock bolts and rear brake bolts. Now that we have all 4 tires installed in our front and rear rack, we can safely set the unit onto the ground. In this next step, we are going to install the handlebars. These are all the components needed for a proper install. Remember, when you install these, make sure none of your wires or cables are tangled and they are facing the proper direction. Once you have all 4 bolts on the handlebars down snug, leave a little bit of room for adjustment and set it to something that's comfy and proper for you. Here we are going to be securing the front headlight housing. Be sure to locate all your brackets and nuts and bolts for this installation. Next, we are going to install the front fender flares. This helps if you get the bolts started first and then tighten them all down at the same time. This helps your unit look super sexy. In this scene, we are installing the rear foot guards. This is to protect you and your foot from falling off the pegs and getting injured from the rear tire. Installing the seat is simple, starting with the front and following in with the rear. Next, we are installing the rear brake light. It consists of 2 bolts and a wiring harness, which is all located right there under the rear fender. And just like that, you're ready to ride. Be ready to enjoy your new ATV on some fun adventures.